Hey guys, today we are going to be going over yesterday's worksheet. We did 2 pages of notes on yesterday, and so today what you are going to do is we're going to go over that back page that you worked with your partner or independently, and then we're going to do a homework sheet on today. The homework sheet will be independent practice. This is something that you need to know how to do on your own. So, what I want you to do is take out your notes from yesterday. And if you look at my screen, let me zoom in a little bit. Hold on one second. I pressed the wrong button. Let's see. Let me get out of that. Done. Hold on. Okay. All right. So, if you look, this is the paper that you should have taken notes on yesterday. Okay. And remember, you were also supposed to write a summary. So hopefully you did that. So we did the front together. But what you guys are going to do today is we're going to go over that back page. So let me get my board together. All right, so let's get set up. One second. Today's notes should look much better because I'm on my smart board today. So it should look better. All right, so what we're going to do is go to the next page. Uh-oh, I went too far ahead. Okay, so, hold on, yeah. Technical difficulties, it happens, right? All right, so that back page, and this is your homework sheet. So let's go to the back page. Turn it over. We did 6 together, so you should have done that. We're going to go to 7, 8, and 9. And I'm going to go over that with you. If you get it wrong, what you need to do is fix it and kind of identify where you went wrong. So for 7, it says the 2 spinners below are spun at the same time. What are the possible outcomes of the 2 spins? So if you look at the spinner, we know that we have 2 possible outcomes there. And then if we look at the second spinner that has the colors, there are 4 possible outcomes. So what we're going to do is we are going to list them. Remember, we're creating a list. So I know that I have a possibility of rolling 1 or spinning on 1, not rolling on 1, and getting yellow. Okay. I know that I have a possibility of getting 2 in yellow. All right. Then 1 in blue, 2 in blue. So I'm creating a list. All right. 1 in orange, 2 in orange. So you see the pattern that we're doing. And if you look, we'll be able to tell all the possible outcomes. All right. And like I said, for this first spinner, we have 2 possible outcomes. For the second spinner, we have 4. So we have a total of 8 possible outcomes. And if you look at your list, you should have circled or you should have listed 8 different outcomes. You guys got it? All right. So that's number 7. Number 8. Then it tells us to create a tree diagram. Remember, a tree diagram has a connection almost like a tree, like the branches. So it says a clothing line has shirts in red, blue, or white, and pants in gray and khaki. So we know that in our pants we have 2 different choices, and in our shirts we have 3. All right, so that should kind of help you to already know how many possible outcomes you will have. However, we're going to set it up in trees. So for my red shirt, I know that I could have gray pants or khaki pants. Okay, when we do a tree, you have the top part and then you have the branches. Okay, so you have the main tree and then the branches. All right, blue, you're going to do the same thing. Gray or khaki. And then for white, same concept. All right, so now it says how many different combinations. Sorry, that should be khaki. How many different combinations can be made with the clothing line? So if we look, you can use our mathematical sentence to do 3 times 2, which gives us 6. We have 6 possible combinations. All right. Okay, so now let's look at B. How would adding a green shirt to the clothing line change the tree diagram? So if we added a green shirt, we know that we have a whole different column going on. All right, so that gives us more possibilities. All right, then it says, how would that change the number of possible outcomes? More possibilities. We would have 4 branches because we would add, what color did they say? Green. Okay. All right. And so now we have, instead of 3, we have 4 possibilities of shirts and 2 possibilities of pants, leaving us with 8 possibilities. Okay. All right. So you could have shared your answer however you wanted to. Just make sure to talk about there's more possibilities, and then there's 4 different branches that we see. Okay, let's move on to 9. When buying a car, Esther can choose a 2-door or 4-door car with leather or cloth interiors in black, silver, and white. So if we think about that, we've got 3 different types of information. We have the amount of doors, we have leather or cloth for the interior, and then we have a color. So we've got 3 different types here. All right, so if we have 3 different types, that means you're going to be multiplying 3 different numbers. All right, so we have a 2-door, and in my 2-door, I can have leather or cloth, and out of those leather or cloth choices, I can have black, silver, or white. So black, silver, white. Same thing here. Black, silver, white. All right, same thing goes for my 4-door car. So if you look, and you should do the same thing for the 4. We've got 1, 2, and 3 different types here. Okay, so with that information, how many are, not how many, but let's think about the combination. How could we write that in a sentence? So for B, I would do, we have 2 types of doors. Okay, we have 2 types of fabrics. And then we have 3 types of colors. So when I multiply that, that means I should have 12 combinations. All right. So you should have done the same thing for 4, and you would have realized that we have 12 combinations. All right. And one thing I do want to tell you, and I'm going to go back to 8, is if you're not sure where I'm getting my combinations from, I look at the last part of my branch. That is where the amount of possibilities, you add those up. So for 8, we did 3 times 2. We had 6 possibilities. When we added the green, then we had 8. So we would go ahead and circle the rest too if we needed to, you know. Okay, so for B, the car dealership discontinues the cloth interiors on that model. How would that change the tree diagram above and the number of possible outcomes? Same question as number 8, but here they're discontinuing. Real quick, stop and talk to your neighbor about the word discontinue. What does that look like in our math sentence? Okay? All right, you should have said that they pulled it out. They pulled it away. There's no longer that piece of information. Okay? So they discontinued the cloth, so that means that my outcome would no longer be 12. It's going to decrease. It's going to decrease. All right? So instead of 12 outcomes, let's see, what do I have? Just the cloth. So the cloth is gone, and it would be gone from both sections. So instead of 12 outcomes, it's going to decrease to 6 outcomes. All right. So you only have leather choice, and then you have the 3 colors. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, because now you're going to do some independent work. All right. So we're going to go to the next page. And this is a page you do not have, so it needs to be passed out. Okay, and if we look, it says sample space, what we have went over. All right, that is the homework sheet. It is the independent practice. You have 5 questions. Now, you need to make sure that you read directions very clearly, because some of them are asking about the branches. Some of them are asking about the list. You got to be very specific in answering your question. So the number cube is rolled and a coin is tossed. Answer the questions below. So 1 through 3 are going to be based off of a number cube and a coin. And if you remember our notes in our video from yesterday, I talked about that cube, or not cube, well, number cube. It's a dice, and you guys are used to seeing dice, so you know that it's 1 through 6. Okay? And then for our coin, we know that it's either heads or tails. All right, so those are your options. So go ahead and get started on your work. We will go over it as everybody finishes up. Have a good day.